Hello, my friends. It's your brother Zen sharing more messages of love from above. And this video is going to be regarding the full moon that we're having in Cancer coming up on December 29th. It'll be happening around 8:28 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So depending on where you're at in the world, you'll know when this full moon is actually hitting for you. What's great is that this moon is happening in Cancer, and the moon actually rules the sign of Cancer, so it feels very comfortable and it actually enjoys being in that sign because it's one of its homies. It's one of its homes, both the sign of Cancer and the sign of Taurus, so it feels really comfortable there. But with it ruling the sign of Cancer, and Cancer is being more emotional, this full moon is going to be super emotionally charged. That could be a positive thing or a challenging thing depending on what emotion we are focusing on around the full moon. Usually we feel the effects of a full moon at least 3 days before and 3 days after. And if you have like an extra strong connection to the moon, if you notice that it impacts you even sooner or later, it can even be sometimes up to a week before and a week after. So you might be dreaming a lot more and having more vivid dreams, and of course, feeling more emotional than usual. So, you might just kind of track that and see when you start to get affected by it, because we used to track that when I worked in a call center. We knew when a full moon was hitting because we would get definitely different stranger calls where people were more, like I said, emotionally charged, people more upset, and then just people's emotions just flowing out during our phone calls. So it is proven. I also wanted to make sure the moon, of course, is full of a lot of feminine divine energy at this time. So especially with it being in Cancer, it's a good time to nourish yourself, nest at home. And because whatever emotion you're feeling is going to be supercharged and magnified, if you focus on unconditional love, then that will be exaggerated for you. But if you're feeling fear or any other fear emotions, those will be exaggerated. But the great news is that when you recognize that, you can flip it in a second and choose unconditional love instead, because of course every moment is either made of unconditional love or the fear of losing conditional love. So if it's not one, it's the other. And when you realize it's the one you don't want to feel, then you can move to the other. One of the things you can do during this time, because we are 3 days before the full moon, so starting today, you can create a space in your heart just around the awareness of unconditional love of the Creator, our Mother, Father, God, the Creator of all things. Just create a space in your heart and just imagine, even just close your eyes and imagine just the space creating and reserving that spot, and just making that awareness and bring that unconditional love into there. And then that just helps you be grounded in that. Maybe a nice little thing that you can do is like take a glass of water and then just like put your hands around it here and just bless it, giving, kind of infusing it with unconditional love. And just even tell the glass, just tell the water, you are loved. And then just do that every day for 7 days, starting today, and then drink it. And then just let that love just fill you up. So that can be a nice little daily ritual that you do for love and to focus on love for at least the next 7 days. Full moons also can bring around, kind of like bring the hidden to light. And it's kind of like bringing the unconscious things into our conscience. So you might think back to the new moon in Cancer that happened this year around July 20th. Just, what was going on in your life during that time? What were you feeling? This full moon in Cancer can bring completion of those things. So you have endings. Things will come to fruition, or things will continue to evolve in that. So if you journal, go back to that time. And if not, I really encourage doing like a new moon journal, at least if you're not doing a kind of a daily-ish type of journal, just around a new moon, write down what you were feeling, because when the whatever new moon that sign is in, when the full moon comes around later, then you're going to see that that's that completion of that cycle for that period. So that's really an interesting thing that happens there. Also, in the this little book, the Moonology book, let me see, I got it right here. So in this Moonology book here, it talks about how you can attune to the full moon in Cancer. That's where these cards are from, by the way. You can attune by this full moon in Cancer by moving toward what you want in kind of a sideways manner instead of going direct. Because if you go direct right now, because of this super emotionally charged energy that's going on, it can be overwhelming to you, or it can overwhelm others. So instead of going direct at something, you kind of just go about it sideways, and just take like little baby steps toward it, little side steps toward it instead. And then you can reach that, that goal, or make progress towards that. That way it's more manageable and more balanced. So, all right, enough about moons. We'll go ahead and jump in and do a reading. You have a choice of 2 readings. So if you choose card number 1, this is going to be for the full moon, just a full moon in general, will be for the first reading. Or the second reading is actually for the full moon in Cancer. So you can choose number 1 or number 2, and there will be timestamps in the description box below down here somewhere, so you can just jump to the second one if you don't want to listen to the first one. And we'll go ahead and start right now. If you chose the full moon card, then this is the reading for you for this full moon in Cancer coming up. And I'm going to start off, since it's the heart of there's so much divine mother energy and loving energy that is attached to the moon. I'm going to start off with my little heart chakra bowl here. I'm just going to start off here. And just thank the Holy Spirit, the Mother of Compassion. Thank you for being here. We thank you for your unconditional love. We thank you, all our angels and our guides, our ancestors, any loved ones that have gone to the other side already. We just thank you for your unconditional love, and we welcome all of you here to bring your love messages to us. Okay, and I'm going to start off by pulling a card here from this Return of Spirit deck, and just to get our first message. Creator, what message do you have for those that pick the full moon card, please? Please give us one card, and please make it very obvious to us which card it is, please. Okay, this one is sticking out here, so we'll go ahead and take this one. We got the Power card. See that here. I'm going to go ahead and read from the little book on here. And before I read into that, I just really feel an additional message for this, regardless of what the little book says, is that with this full moon, like if you didn't listen to the first part when I talked about the full moon, I mean, we have the power to choose what we're feeling, and the full moon just brings us extra energy. I mean, we're made of what, 70-80% water. So the energy of the moon just really impacts us, like it impacts the tides of the world. So, we can choose between feeling love or feeling fear. And during a full moon, everything's amplified. So we have the power to choose between what we want to feel. And so if we're feeling in fear, which I know this year has had so much stuff that's been going on, maybe by now we're not in fear because we're so used to being in the situations we are, but we have the power to, say, I get to choose what this situation means about me, not anyone else. So that allows us to choose, an unconditioned loving approach to ourselves instead of judging ourselves by the situations we're in. We can know that we are powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit beings made of unconditional love. And we're just playing these characters as we're walking on this earth, but we're actually these spirit beings. So we have the power to remember who we are as well. This card says this power card rules the third chakra, which is the solar plexus chakra, the yellow chakra. And this is where we experience our own sense of personal power. If you have drawn this card today, it's because Spirit is asking that you focus on your own sense of personal power and claim it. Have you been hiding from your power or afraid to own it? Have you been feeling powerless or fearing you aren't strong enough? It's time to focus on your solar plexus and start to build your sense of personal power. Sometimes there can be a drain from our solar plexus because we are unintentionally corded to another person, most often in close relationships. This energetic cord runs directly from our third chakra and attaches to the other person. We unknowingly let others siphon off our power. And this can happen if we're enabling or trying to please someone. It can also happen if we fear losing the love of that person or if we feel attacked in some way. It is time for you to look closely at why this has happened to you and to ask your guides and angels to assist you with cutting that cord. This card also comes if we are in fear of claiming our power, of standing tall and showing the world exactly who we are. Most often, we've had experiences in our early years where we personally witnessed the misuse of power or had someone attempt to diminish our own. This was in the past, though, and you know how power is not to be used. You also know that not claiming your own power does not serve you. It's time for you to claim you, to claim your life, and claim the fact that you are a powerful, incredible soul. Boom! So like I said, I love that it talked about the fear of losing love, and that's conditional love, that's external love. And the other thing that it mentioned in here about having that cord and that siphon, one of the things that was really amazing in my life was when I realized that, we're like these barrels, like maybe this bowl, and, we have all these, we can have that pipe that goes out to another soul. And that's kind of that codependency type of relationship where we're like, no, let me sacrifice myself for you, and we'll have that pipe going out to them. And when we have all these pipes going out, we never get full because the amount of energy going in is not making up for where all this energy is going out. So we feel drained, and we constantly, that's where codependency ends up, is we start to feel empty, and we even get resentful. We offered you to have our energy so we would be lovable and likable, but now we're feeling drained and resentful. And that's, what happens when we look for this external love. But when we close those off and we become, just self-contained, when we allow the, unconditional love of the Creator to fill us up, then everyone else gets the overflow. And that's okay, because then we're full. And the greatest gift we can give the world is a healthy, full us, because otherwise we're drained all the time, and no one likes a cranky, drained soul, because we get a little cranky, don't we, when we feel drained? But when we're bubbling over with love, what's not to love, right? So that's an additional message for that as well. Next, I'm going to pull a card here from this Art of Manifestation deck and see what additional message we have. And one more time. All right. Holy Spirit, what additional message do you have for those that chose the full moon card, please? Well, there you go. You got 2. All right. And the first one is worth the wait. And I'll let you put that up there in case you want to pause and read it. But it says, is something or someone not moving forwards as fast as you would like? This card is here to reassure you. Hold fast, be patient. The best things in life are worth waiting for. Perfect. And I had mentioned, with this full moon in Cancer, moving towards the things that we want, going directly towards them quickly, like I mentioned, it can be overwhelming for us or for others. So taking side steps, slow baby steps, is what the message is, and it's worth the wait. So don't be afraid. If it's meant for you, then it's going to unfold. If something doesn't unfold for us, it's like saying, thanking God for unanswered prayers. God, the Creator, all our guides, all our angels, we can trust that they're going to allow the things that are for our highest good here, for our highest experience here, to unfold. And if things don't unfold, or they unfold slower, then we want them to be, it's like a 2-year-old wanting to, pour their drink for the first time. They're like, give me the pitcher, I want to do it. And if they do it, but we can trust that with the guidance, and we do it slowly, we learn how to not make a mess. There's also a message of walk away. And I'll let you do that as well. I'll read this. It says, walk away from this situation. When we face a challenging or unhealthy situation, it can be hard to let go and move on. Sometimes we stay in the hope that someone else will change, or perhaps we're so fearful of the unknown that we remain in the safety of unknown and yet toxic situation. This card validates your entitlement to leave. Wow. And then, in this card, when it was mentioning about, those situations where, someone were connected, and that cutting that cord, that's just affirmation that it's okay to walk away. Sometimes we, fear, if it's like love or any type of situation, really, we fear, what if I won't find love again, or I won't find that situation again? I can always guarantee we're going to find love again, in fact, we find love too much, right? The first breakup I had, I feared that. But I learned over time, after the second breakup, the third breakup, the fourth breakup, I'm like, I wish I didn't find love so quickly. But also, one of the fears we have is, well, what about the other person? And, one of the great things in life is you can't control what someone else is going to feel. You can't make someone happy, just like no one can make you happy. No one control how you feel. You're going to feel what you're going to feel. They're going to feel what they're going to feel. You're going to choose what you're going to choose. They're going to choose what they're going to choose. But you are the one that is responsible for your steps. You can't control their steps. And their steps mean nothing about you. Your steps mean nothing about them. It's all about you. Theirs are all about them. All right. And then lastly, I'm going to pull a card from this Soul Truth deck, just to get your final message here. One of the things too that stands out for me, I actually have a saying for 2021, which is stepping into unity, stepping into union, which I'll post a little picture of that right here. And for that, that's, this year especially has really brought to all of us just that feeling of division and, of that duality, but really division and divisiveness. And this next year, I really feel, at least for myself, it's a year of union. It's a year of drawing into unity with the Creator. You're realizing that we're not apart, we're part of that sea, we're part of this divine family, but also allowing that to flow out, to the world and to become more united, just on this human plane as well. So that is something else, walking away from our divisiveness, that division that we are feeling in the world, both within countries, against countries, and everything else, and moving more into unity and into oneness. So I just wanted to mention that. And then one final shuffle there. All right, what's the final message for those that chose the full moon? What's the final message? Please make it really obvious for us, because we love obvious messages. There's too much confusion in the world these days. We like things just to be clear, clear, clear. Okay, this one's right. Jumping out here. And this one is, what is my body telling me right now? Let me show you the back of this too, in case you want to stop and take a picture of that at all. And it says, our body speaks to us. Through physical pain or discomfort, our body sends messages for us to look more deeply. See the trapped emotions, the lurking fears and beliefs that limit you. Listen to your physical body and you'll be led to the source of your pain. It's time to get your healing on. And it says today's soul action is, get the book Heal Your Body by Louise L. Hay and find the answers towards which your body is guiding you, which is a wonderful action there. It's a wonderful book. And you can sometimes, if you I know it's tough times right now, maybe financially, but if you even search online and put in what is the emotional meaning of this pain, you'll find some references from her book and others as well. But especially with the solar plexus, that's about your relationship with yourself. And a lot of that healing comes through this yellow solar plexus. So not a, it's no accident that this popped up for this as well. So it's a good time to sit still and understand what's going on with your body, what's causing dis-ease, in your body. And a full moon is a great time to reflect back and see what's going on, just create that quiet space. So I hope this brought a little bit of into your moment today, a little bit of guidance for the full moon. If it did, if you would like to, you can give me a little like down here below. That does help out my channel, helps it appear on other people's suggested videos, so it can help spread a little bit of Zen into people's lives. And if you want to get notified of when I do future readings here, because I do usually do at least 1 or 2 a week, just click the subscribe button down below here and click the little alarm, and then you'll get notified on that as well. And that, of course, helps my channel at no cost. So that's a wonderful way you can help me, help you, help the world. But I wish you all the best and a very happy, happy full moon full of love. I love you. You take care. And if you chose reading number 2 for the full moon in Cancer here, and on this one it says a personal issue reaches resolution. So that's always good news. So this will be the reading for you. And before we start, since this is a very divine mother, divine compassion, heart, feeling, emotion that this full moon is bringing up, I'm going to go ahead and start with a little this heart chakra bowl here, just to bring in some energy. We do thank the Holy Spirit, the Mother of Compassion. You're welcome here. We thank you for your unconditional love. And we thank all our angels and our guides, our ancestors, our loved ones who have already passed over. We thank you for your unconditional love as well. And we invite all of you to be here with us to bring your messages of love to us. All right, I'm going to start off by pulling a card from this Return of Spirit deck here and see what our first message is. Holy Spirit, what is the first message for those that chose the full moon in Cancer card, please? If you can make it very obvious which card it is for us, because we would like obvious messages today, please. Okay, there we go. Wonderful. This is a music card here. And I'll go ahead and read from the little book here. Maybe. If my fingers will work. Almost, there we go. So music plays a very important part in our energetic and physical well-being. Music and certain binaural rhythms have the ability to aid us into altered states of consciousness. Music can calm us down, rev us up, and affect our mood in many ways, which is awesome. You know, if you didn't listen to the beginning when I was talking about the full moon, because this full moon is amplifying our emotions even super, because it's in Cancer, it's even more of a super impact. Doing anything you can to raise your love vibration, to focus on love. Music, and like it talks about, is one of those things that, you know, those songs that connect you to the Creator, that lift your spirits, that have you focus on unconditional love, is a great way during this full moon especially to help focus on that. It talks about it can assist in the physical release of disease and alter our cellular frequencies. Okay, as I mentioned. It can also affect the vibrational energy patterns within a space. Your guides are asking that you start to integrate music more into your everyday life. It is important to help shift and move energies within your physical body and auric field. Take time to move, flow, and dance to the music. It doesn't matter what kind of music it is, just as long as you feel good when you listen to it. Music plays a more important role in your well-being than you may be aware of right now. This card also comes to those who have musical gifts, talents, and abilities. Firstly, Spirit is acknowledging your gifts. They are also encouraging you to continue to grow and develop your talent, and to be open to sharing your sound with the world. Whether you're a musician, a singer, or a sound healer, it's important that you don't give up on yourself or your gifts. Time to stop holding back or doubting if this is what you're meant to do. Music is a universal language and physical manifestation of divine energy in full expression. So it's time to turn up your radio or dig out your MP3 player. Sing out loud like no one's listening. Dance free like no one's watching. Get a little crazy and wild. Have fun and enjoy it. Make music a part of your everyday routine and watch your energy, mood, and creative forces blossom. Boom. So yeah, definitely. I know for me, music is, I can, if I'm feeling down and I want to cry, I know what songs to make me just take me into those depths of that sadness and then turn it around. It's like bounce. And there's other times, I want to connect with the Creator and I want to get into a space of peace, joy, and love, I know exactly what songs to listen to bring that about as well. So music is such an important piece of our lives in general, but especially during this full moon. All right, next I'm going to pull a card here from the Art of Manifestation deck. Just get additional message here. All right, what additional message do we have for those that chose the Moon in Cancer card, please? The full moon in Cancer. All right, this one's really sticking out here for me. Got trust the universe. I'll read that for you there. If you want to stop that and read it, you can do that. It says, sometimes we can strive relentlessly to make something happen and then experience huge disappointments when our efforts do not work out. Whilst action on our part is required, if we are too determined to stay on one course only, we inadvertently block ourselves from the guidance and direction that the universe is trying to bring to us. This is a time to trust and let things happen. So I know it's a wonderful place to be in when, especially with the full moon cycles, as we're coming up on the full moon, from this last new moon up until the full moon coming up here on the 29th, that's a time of waxing. So things are growing, the seeds that we planted are growing, and then we hit the full moon, and then we kind of go into the waning period, which is things come to a completion. We see what is not working well for us. Whatever plans we might have had may not be working out the way we want it to, and so we're making kind of alterations to our plan. We're adapting, we're being flexible, and those, kind of things are happening. So and I mentioned kind of in the beginning when I was talking about the full moon, sometimes we have to say, thank God for unanswered prayers, trusting the universe, trusting our guides that everything unfolds for us, not to us, because that puts us into that victim mode. So when we trust the universe, we trust the Creator, that our life is always going to unfold for our highest vibrational experience, for us to understand ourselves and love more clearly. In years like this too, especially, it really tests our faith, our trust in the Creator, right? We're like, why would we have ever wanted to have, all these things happen to us this year, to us, right? But when we look at it and go, what have I learned about myself this year? A lot of us have learned that a job is not a permanent thing. It's temporary. And maybe one door closes and another door opens. And we're in a much happier place because we're doing something more that we wanted, but we felt trapped. We couldn't leave that job because we couldn't afford to. And then sometimes when we won't close the door, the Creator helps us. And it could be relationships, and unfortunately, a lot of individuals have experienced, either a family member or someone they've known that have died this year. And, the thing that, a death of a loved one or a death of a friend, for me, reminds me that this, body isn't forever, but I am forever, and that person is forever. Yeah, they may not be with us. They may not be here in physical form, but they're not gone, and they're still around us, still loving us, and they're still continuing to live in a much loving and less painful place than this conditional world that we come to experience. And they're, on the other side rooting for us because they know what we're going through. They've experienced this constricting plane of this planet compared to who we are on the other side. And so they're like, yeah, keep going. You got this. Just focus on this moment. Don't focus on all future moments. You have enough energy to get through right now. So just trust the Creator. Right, and then the final card I'm going to pull here from Soul Truth and see what final message we have here. All right, what's the final message we have for those that chose the full moon in Cancer card, please? Too many there, please. Just one card, please. Or at least just, okay, there we go. I was going to say, or at least two. All right. This is, am I ready to let go of the buried shame? And then here, I'll let you see that too, in case you want to take a picture of any of that. And this one says, the feeling of shame is the lowest energy frequency there is. When you live in shame, you live in darkness. What part of you is ready to stand in the light? Is there any shame from a past experience that is ready to be healed? And today's soul action says, heal the shame by giving it a name. Bring it to the light and let it be seen, heard, and healed. It's revival season. Replace the shame with your soul's truth. And fill in the blank, my soul's truth is. And what's wonderful with that, we do, as I was mentioning, we come from two different worlds, right? That powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love is who we really are. And there's no shame on the other side. There's no judgment on the other side. But we come to this plane of conditional love to experience our opposite, so we could better understand who we are by experiencing who we're not. And who we're not is, this black and white, right or wrong, good and bad, judgmental place, because that's the place of fear ego. That's the place of conditional love, because there's conditions where we think we can become unlovable. That's where all our fear lies, is being unlovable and unacceptable, right? So our fear ego will accuse us. You did this wrong. You failed there. Shame. Shame. And we feel so guilty, and we feel we have to punish ourselves, or other people feel they have to punish us. But no one can punish us more than we can punish ourselves. We do such a good job at even forgiving the entire world, but not forgiving ourselves, right? We're our biggest judgers, our biggest critics, right? So it's a good time to sit in that space during this full moon and look at what judgment can I release about myself? What judgment can I let go? You can even do a little ceremony, before the full moon hits on what it is you want to release. Give it a name, like it said, write it on a piece of paper, and maybe burn it in the fireplace or burn it in a fire pit outside. And just let it burn away and realize that you are unconditionally loved. And you can really dig into what your soul truth is. Like I mentioned, what is your truth? What lies have you been believing, and what truth can you believe now? The other card you got is, what risk can I take today? Love these feathers. Here's that one here. And this says, be not mistaken, you will have to take bigger risks than you ever thought possible on this path towards your dreams. You will have to take the big, scary leap, but do not fret, because your soul has wings. And today's soul action says, what risk can you take to move towards your dreams? Make a decision and do it. No more thinking, only doing. Be brave and courageous, and you will discover what you're really made of. And this is awesome. I mean, I really love that. If you didn't listen to the beginning when I first talked about the full moon and just jumped to this reading, I mentioned in there, it talked about how to attune to this full moon is to head towards your goal, but kind of do it sideways. Don't go at it direct right now, because of the intensity of the emotions and the energy of this full moon can be overwhelming. And what it says to do instead is just take some side steps. Take baby steps. And this is the time frame just to take some baby steps into what you're doing. But taking that first baby step can feel overwhelming because we think we have to do everything else, all those other steps we have to take at the same time. But that's what's good about a baby step, is just taking one step, whether it's building a dream board, making a list of what you'd like to do, or making a list of the steps that you need to take is a step. So even just writing down what are all the things that you want to do and just kind of creating a little plan of what are the little small steps you need to take to get there. And then you can just focus on the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. You don't have to sprint towards something, because when you get to that, you're just going to have more steps. There's always steps in this journey. So there's no rushing needed. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the creative process of what you have now. You know, that's like creating music, right? Yeah, you don't create a whole album all at once. You write lines of a song and then you apply music to it, or you make the music and you apply the words to it, and you do that one song, and then you work on another song, and then you work on another song, or you work on a couple songs, ideas, and you jump back and forth. It's not doing everything at once. You always have enough energy for this moment, for this day. Tomorrow has its own energy, so don't think you have to expend today's energy into all the future moments or even a couple days. You have enough energy for today, so focus on what you want to do today. So hopefully this brought a little bit of peace, love, and joy into your moments today. And if this resonated with you, if you want to give me a little like down here below, that does help out my channel. It helps it appear on other individuals' suggested videos. So it helps grow my channel and helps spread the love. And if you want to get notified of when I do any future videos, I usually do about 1 or 2 a week, then you can click on the subscribe button down below as well and click the little alarm icon, and then you'll get notified. So I do wish you all the love that you can handle for this full moon coming up. And I just wish you all the very best, and I give you my love. You take care now.